Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Abby Selzer, freshman center from Thomas, Oklahoma, currently leading the women's basketball team in scoring. And Abby, what do you think has prepared you to be able to lead the team like you have in your first season?
Well, I had some great high school coaches and summer ball coaches, but Coach Overton, he's really given me the ability to do what I need to do by telling me exactly what he wants me to do on the court. And then we've had some great leadership on the team. There's a lot of people I look up to on our team that their confidence gives me confidence in what I'm doing, and they make it really easy to go out there and play with them.
What would you say are some of the strengths of your game?
Well, personally, I really like to get on the block and just go from there. And they do a great job. They get me the ball where I need it to make it the easiest ability for me to go score.
Is there anything that maybe you haven't shown in a game that you feel like you have the ability to do, it just hasn't come up yet?
Right now, I'm working on more of a turnaround jumper instead of always trying to push my way to the basket to get as close as I can so that I have the better ability to score. But I'm working on shooting more from the elbow and other places when they leave me open.
Fellow freshman Mallory Lockhart is the second leading scorer on this team right now. You both come in as freshmen and end up being the two leading scorers on the team. What's it been like for you to kind of develop alongside her?
It's been really fun because at first we were both really nervous about the season and what we were supposed to do coming in. But together we've kind of worked through that, and it's really fun to watch her play. Her confidence in her three-point shooting, we know on the court whenever she shoots it, it's going in or it's going to be really close.
What has surprised you, if anything, about playing ball here?
Well, before I came here, I wasn't really for sure what a college basketball practice would be like. So it was amazing to come in and just see what we were going to do, the types of drills, just the way practice was run. And it was actually surprisingly a lot like high school, just more specific to focusing on different things. We don't focus as much on the fundamental, but more on how we play as a team and how we focus on that.
You come from Thomas, Oklahoma. So how familiar were you with Kelly Litch, who is one of the best NAIA players that's ever come through?
At Thomas, we talk about Kelly a lot. She's a main staple of what we want to be on our basketball team. That's who we strive to play like, our goal in the end. But Kelly Litch, she comes to a lot of the Thomas basketball games. So I saw her a lot in high school. She'd be up in the stands. She'd give us advice and things like that after the game. She was always really encouraging. It was always really fun to see her, and just to be able to look up to her as a player, know that, yeah, I'm from a small town, but I can do something. I can play.
What brought you here to OCU?
I actually really didn't know about OCU until right before my senior year. I was playing in a national basketball summer tournament, and I ended up playing here, and I met Coach Overton. I saw the buildings, I saw the school, and I thought it was a really fun place. So when I came on my visit, after that I knew I just had to come here.
What's your major here?
I am a criminal justice major.
So you're just a freshman, but what kind of ideas do you have for your future career?
Well, my goal is to eventually get into law school and to become an attorney.
All right. That's Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Abby Selzer. You can follow the stars on OCUsports.com.
What I've learned the most from golf is to have integrity in everything you say and do.
One of the biggest lessons of that sports impacts my daily life is discipline.
Be a champion of character, it just means to realize first that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Being a part of NAIA is something that I'm going to keep with me forever because it's not only made me a better athlete, but it's made me a better person.
The NAIA really just cares about their student athletes and just the experience in general at the school, and I think that that's really important.
The NAIA stands for, has great core values. One that's most important to me is servant leadership. Being able to serve your community is a huge reason why I chose the NAIA.
I am a champion of character.
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 Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we've got baseball coach Denney Crabaugh. The Stars will start out the season ranked in the top 10, and coach coming off that 2018 campaign, a return to the NAIA World Series. 4 guys that went pro off last year's team. Kind of recap last year's season for us.
Well, last year we had a lot of returners coming back from the year before that made it to the series in 17. So we had a lot of senior leadership. We had 13 seniors on the team, and most of them had already been to the series, so they knew what to do and how to get back to the series. And the new guys fell in with those guys because those guys were outstanding leaders and showed how the way. And so we went out and did what we needed to do. And we kind of got there. We had to go to if game in the opening round, and Tanner Andrews come out closer. He ended up starting that if game and going 9 innings, throwing the shutout, got us back to the World Series. And it was really a satisfying year. We talked about those guys because we hadn't gone to the World Series in 2 years, and we get this kind of core group in, and we went to the series 2 years in a row. And one thing about that team is, like I told them, that they got us back to national prominence, and they'll always hold a special place in, for Keith and I because of that. And they've established a culture that the returners this year are carrying on.
You are replacing quite a bit off of last year's team, but some of your returners on the pitching staff, Ace Bryce Milligan, you talked about Tanner Andrews, and also Tyler Milligan return on your staff. What would you like to say about your pitching staff going into this year?
Well, right now, if I had to say a strength of our ball club going into the spring will be the pitching staff. Those 3 guys are quality guys who've been through the ropes, so to speak, and have shown that they can help us win ball games at the NAIA level, at the national level. And also we've added some other pitchers to it, some transfers, Brandon Golston and Jake Patterson and Dylan Grove. All those guys will figure prominently into our plans as far as pitching is concerned. And then we've got some younger guys coming up, some freshmen, Brandon's brother Christopher and Grant Harrison, another freshman, and Spencer Flatt, freshman. And if they can perform half as good as Abby's performed this year, then we're going to be all right.
Among your other players who are returning, Elliott Carey is one of those, as well as Quinn Wahlberg, Caleb Davis also. What would you like to say about some of your other guys who are going to be in the everyday lineup?
Well, those guys are guys that are going to have to perform for us. Obviously, with 3 guys coming back with any real experience, it's going to depend upon heavily with those guys carrying some of the load, and some of the guys that we've got coming in. It's going to be a little bit of a different OCU team, way it's shaping up. And the fall wasn't real good to us weather-wise. We didn't have a whole lot of chance to see what everybody can do in a lot of reps. So this season we're going to go in with some question marks and lineups, and I think this team will be a lot better off, and we'll know a lot more halfway into the season than we will to start the season.
Heavy slate of home games this year. Does that help a team that doesn't have a whole lot of experience coming back?
Well, it helps us without having to travel. And it does. You get a lot of home games. I know over the years we've played probably more home games than any other program in the country. And we have a lot of teams across the country that want to come in and play us. And we get into these 3-ways on the weekends. A lot of teams are from the north because of the weather up there. And then we'll have teams that'll come in that we haven't played in a long time that'll call me and says they want to come play, because what they really want to do is gauge where they're at. They think they might be pretty good, and so they want to come play us and find out how good they really are and kind of gauge their team against what they do with us.
One of your former players, Brad Wick, made his Major League debut this past year with the Padres. What do you kind of expect for him in his professional career?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's gone up the ladder and he's done well. He got the call up late in the year, and he went up there and he's pitching out of the pen, kind of a left-handed specialist in a way, and he's done real well. His Major League experience was good, so I'm really excited for him, expecting him to open the season on the Major League roster. That's what I'm hoping for him, and he's worked hard to get there. I know he's done a lot of things since he's left OCU, and he talked about, when I saw him this summer, he's talking about the work ethic that he had here, and he's carried it on, and he's done some really good things, and I think the Padres are really high on him, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Your assistant, Keith Lytle, was a pretty easy choice for NAIA Assistant Coach of the Year. Tell us about that award and also the presentation of that award.
Well, the ABCA, the American Baseball Coaches Association, about 5 years ago started an Assistant Coach of the Year award. And there was only one every year that they handed out, and it was primarily, I think they all were D1 assistants. Well, this year they decided to add a Assistant Coach of the Year in every division, all 3 NCAA divisions, NAIA, JUCO, high school even. And so when they called me, they said when the discussion came to who was going to be the very first inaugural NAIA Assistant Coach of the Year, they said there was no discussion. It was going to be Keith, because he is the only assistant coach in the NAIA Hall of Fame. So that was really special to me. And then they gave the award, and you got to understand, there's this huge room where we're at the down in Dallas, and there's almost 6,000 coaches in the room. They have this big board, and then with the names and video board, and all the coaches there, and they called them up, and all the assistant coaches, and Keith Lytle, Oklahoma City University, and it was a very proud moment. Not only for Keith, but for me, because he's worked so hard, and I was really glad that he was recipient of that award, and he was recognized that way, because he's done so much for this program over the past 30 years. And it was really a proud moment for him, for me, and for the OCU baseball program and alumni and all those guys. I've had a lot of alumni call and email and congratulations, and there was actually 5 OCU alumni at that convention. So that was pretty special too.
On the family front, your daughter Amy's going to play softball here at OCU. She's been around OCU for her whole life. How excited is she to be able to put the uniform on and play softball here?
I think she's very excited when you sit there, and like I said, that's all she's known for her whole life is OCU, and she's made many baseball games. She's made every trip to Lewiston that we've gone on. It's a baseball team, and she's watched Mindy when Mindy was here playing softball, win a national championship here, and watched that. So I think she's really excited about the tradition of OCU softball and growing up with it. And basically, I think she said that was the only real place that she really wanted to go. So I'm excited for her be able to come and continue that tradition. And my 4th kid that has gone to school here, all of them. So, and I'm just happy I'm going to be able to go walk across the street and watch her play.
All right, that's baseball coach Denney Crabaugh. Stars get the season started in just a couple of weeks. You can follow them on OCUsports.com.